Hey guys, so this is my tank, and it's actually my first ever tank ever, planted or not, or with fish or without fish or with shrimp or anything. And we've had this tank for about a month. Last week a couple of weeks ago we had got our shrimp in, since it actually cycled pretty quickly because we had some old filter media etc from the person we bought the tank off. And yeah, put some plants in. Got 4 endlers at the moment and a Betta who is hiding. There he is. He is called Princess Diablo because yeah, he's not really much of a Satanist, but he is a fighter and he's a princess. He's a beautiful boy and there's nothing wrong with that. He's lovely. Yeah, got him off eBay, which was pretty lucrative because it actually worked out a little bit cheaper than going to our local fish shop because it's a bit of a mission. Yeah, struggling to focus, but that is him. So, my tank. What we did is, this is all fluvial volcanic stratum substrate, then a bit of gravel from the old owner. And then this is all lava rock that we also got off eBay. And for this art structure, we literally just stuck it together. And I'd be pretty surprised if you wouldn't be able to work out how we did that, since the evidence is still quite apparent due to my lack of competency. Yeah, obviously we super glued it all together and then whacked it in, and it's looking pretty nice. I'm quite pleased with it. I think it will look a lot better once the moss actually grows over the super glue. Then obviously it will cover it up a bit and make everything look a bit more natural, but considering we only put the moss in last week, it's doing alright. So what sort of plants do I have in here? I have got, oh sorry, actually, these are not just endlers, these are Japanese blue endlers, and then these are 2 normal ones. These ones, Japanese blue ones, if I could focus on them, they are absolutely beautiful. I actually had 4 of them. 2 of them died over the weekend due to my filter malfunctioning and hypoxia. They didn't get enough air. Which is, funnily enough, why we've got this now, because to make sure that never happens again, because that was absolutely awful and probably the worst day ever, and probably a huge beginner's mistake as well, because we're kind of just trying to work it out at the moment, but I think we're getting there and it's alright. Yeah, anyway, the plants that we've got. So I got this Bucephalandra from the local fish shop, which is gorgeous, and put him in some rocks, which has been nice. And what else have I got? I've got this Dwarf Aquarium lily, which we're actually doing a time lapse on at the moment. That has grown an extraordinary amount recently. And we've also got this Red Tiger Lotus, which is a little bit newer, and also doing a time lapse on that one. And yeah, also really excited to see this one grow. It's funny, we actually ordered the Red Tiger Lotus and he sent us Dwarf Aquarium lily instead. So we ended up actually getting 2 plants for 1, which was pretty sweet. And then the rest of the plants I actually got all from in vitro packages, because we have some blue crystal shrimp in here and I didn't want them to die, basically, or risk any sort of death or anything like that, so I got all my plants in vitro because it seemed just like the best option, and plants seemed healthy and it seemed like you got a lot of them and the prices were good. And I managed to find a deal again on eBay, got 4 different plants for 11 quid, which was pretty good. So I got a whole batch of weeping moss, and then got some Hydrocotyle Japan, which is really lovely. It's this Japanese clover, though at the front not going down, It's probably because I'm a cheapskate, and you'll see I've actually got really thin substrate all the way around. I'll kind of lump it up if I want a plant there, but otherwise it's pretty thin. And I was a bit silly when I was actually aquascaping the tank, and a lot of the areas where there's rocks, the substrate's also really thick, which obviously makes no sense and isn't really required. You could really do with that substrate in the plants. Wasn't very fun to plant in, but alas. So then, forgive my pronunciation, but we've got Alternanthera reineckii, purple, and that's all of this stuff here, which is absolutely beautiful, and I've really wanted this plant ever since I've been researching my aquatic plants and working out what I actually want. This is probably the hardest plant that I've got in here, so I'm a little bit worried about how it's going to do, because I'm not really fertilising or giving any CO2 or anything at the moment. Might be something I'll do eventually, but I kind of just want to keep it all as natural as possible, really, and not with the system too much. And then our last plant that I got from the in vitro was all of this Rotala Yao Yai, which is absolutely lovely as well. If I can actually focus on it. Yeah, there's a little bit, and that's a much more prominent bit there coming out in front of the water lily. It actually seems to have been doing quite well, and quite pleased with it. And it's really pretty and has a really lovely texture, and I really love the soft little bits of reds on the leaves, and how you can kind of plant it up like a little lawn. It's hard to show you, but oh, here we go. Through the archway I've kind of made a little Rotala garden, which has been quite nice. I'm quite proud of that. And there should be some other things going on back there, but this guy is a serial plant uprooter, and I made the foolish mistake of planting up my tank and then putting a fish in straight after, which is actually just a terrible mistake, because especially when it's a fish like this, it just goes through all your plants trying to chase its own reflection, and then gives you a nightmare, because these plants are just not trying, they don't want to stay in at all, and you end up spending a lot of time getting your hands wet and getting quite frustrated. But also, this is partially my own fault for having really thin substrate, so if you've got the money, get thick substrate, it's a good idea. So yeah, this is my tank. We got this bit of driftwood from the local pet shop because we're poor and lazy. That was like £3, which is pretty good. It's only a little bit, but it's all we needed really, because we've got all these rocks going on. Overall, it's a 10-gallon tank. I've got a couple of nerite snails as well hanging about. Get close up. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. It would happen on a good day, but not today. And yeah, these guys are all I really wanted to show you anyway. They're great fun. Absolutely love Endlers. Probably going to be doing many videos in the future on Endlers and Bettas and various other fish, and also various other animals and their various behavioural, zoological, interesting facts basically, and studies and things about these fish that even your general fish keeper might not even know, just because they're actually sort of sciencey things where it's more like behaviourists sort of know about this stuff, and it's quite interesting, and I think it'd be really cool to sort of link those two worlds a little bit. So yeah, might do some things like that because it's all pretty relevant and I'm interested in it and it would be cool. So welcome to my tank. This is my first one. It's not much, but I like it and I'm proud, and it's my first one, and everything's probably gonna die, but hopefully not. And if you've got any suggestions to help me keep this alive, I would really appreciate it, because I'm just kind of trying to work it out as I go along, really. Cool. Okay, bye. I love you all.